City Clerk, can we have roll call, please?
Councilmember Carter,
Present.
Councilmember Elliott,
Present.
Councilmember Marroquin,
Present.
Mayor Potem Camarena,
Present.
Mayor Cancha.
Present.
We have a quorum.
If we could please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
Yes. Hand over your heart. Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can you remain standing for the invocation, please?
Please bow your heads. Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you first simply saying thank you. We ask you to bless the people that are here, bless the whole entire El Centro as we go through different things with the heat, different things that are going on in the city. Please put your hands on us. We ask you to put your hands on the residents, the people who are going back to school, Lord. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Okay, prior to the public comments, I want to make some clarifications. We're going to be replacing the Film Commission annual report. We'll do that at a different time. We will be replacing them with Small Business Development Center, Alexis Orejo and Priscilla Lopez. So when that comes up, you'll be called. And then we will be adding the presentation by the 9/11 Stair Climb Committee. So
So we will need a motion to add that item in a second.
okay, take a motion, please.
I'll
I'll
motion
move.
to add.
I'll second.
Councilmember Carter,
Yes.
Councilmember Elliott,
Yes.
Councilmember Marroquin,
Yes.
Mayor Potem Camarena,
Yes.
Mayor Cancha.
Yes,
The item has been added.
very good, thank you. Prior to those presentations, I'm gonna go ahead and open up public comment. The City Council welcomes your input. At this time, members of the public may address the City Council on any matter not listed on the posted agenda. Pursuant to the Brown Act, no action will be taken on any issue brought forward or brought forth under public comments. We ask that you please complete a speaker slip and submit it to the city clerk prior to the start of the meeting. Although you are not required to identify yourself, this information on the speaker slip assists the mayor that all persons wishing to address the council are recognized, and also assists the city clerk in preparing the city council minutes. Unless the mayor extends your time, there is a 3-minute time limit for each public presentation. Any information provided on the speaker slip is voluntary. Prior to that, I did jump one. I want to make sure, city attorney, do we have anything to report out? Close that.
No, there are no reportable actions.
Very good. Thank you very much. With that being said, if I could, Tony Rummel?
Mayor, councilmen and public, I filed I was defrauded $3,000 back in October last year. I reported to the local police department. They assigned a lady to it. And after she said she would get back to me, she never did. And that happened back in October of last year. November, December came by, she never called me back. I filed a complaint against her because I felt that she neglected me. I signed a complaint, and Officer McNish and Mr. Bones is knowledgeable about this. McNish wrote me a letter back saying that my complaint was unfounded and that the lady that wrote had all the right to do that, which I truly believe, Mr. McNish, you went out of hand to do that because you didn't even talk to me. After 15 times that I called to talk about this, only one time did the secretary return my call. And young man, and Mr. Ron, Mr. Miller, it's nothing personal. Is this what you did? And now you have to respond to it. I'm embarrassed here as much as you're embarrassed, but the embarrassment came back to me. You guys didn't do nothing to help me out. I feel that when it comes to public comments and the people, that if you don't do your job, the company needs to know about it. Your letter was very one-sided. You never called me. And also, Mr. Manager Sawyer, you can't investigate this. From what I know, you helped bring Mr. Brown here and allowed him to get a job, which is okay. But don't feel bad, Mr. McNish and Mr. Ramon, because you caused this. I didn't cause this. I feel in the spot. I'm in a spot, and I feel as a veteran, you also hurt me and many other veterans. If your family is looking at this, so is mine. I feel that I'm not doing nothing rude. I'm doing anything up front. And to me, you're the top leaders, the city manager, and the top people in the Central Police Department. And I need for you, Mr. Mayor, you, not Mr. Sawyer, not Mr. McNish, not Mr. Brown, investigate this and get back to me. I'm not bringing up anything that's wrong. I feel uneasy doing this, but so does my wife and my 2 kids, one of which is a special child. He doesn't understand what's happening. And all my brothers and sisters and about 200 members of our training group. Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor, and I hope you look into it without any bias or friendship, because you used to work there too.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah. I hope I wasn't out of hand.
You were not. You're on.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Now, request for Mr. Peter Rodriguez.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the council, and people of El Centro. My name is Peter Rodriguez, and tonight I am proud to announce my candidacy for El Centro City Council. And this announcement is not about me. This announcement is about the community. Thank you. It's about restoring trust in local government, rebuilding confidence in leadership, and bringing people together. With a shared vision for a stronger El Centro, our city deserves leadership that listens and leads with integrity and puts residents first. My priorities are clear and simple. Support public safety by ensuring our police and fire departments have the equipment, the resources, and have the training that they need to protect every family in our community. And stand with our seniors by working with our community to ensure that no seniors have to worry about going hungry in our community. Third, invest in our community with grant funding, community involvement for a thriving city. I'm not running for a title, I'm running to serve. Together, we can restore trust, safety in our neighborhoods, support our first responders, seniors, and build an El Centro that future generations will be proud to call home. Thank you, and God bless each of you, and may God continue to bless the city of El Centro. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rodriguez.
Thank you.
And Mr. Tyson, Jake Tyson.
I'm Jake Tyson. I live here in El Centro. First off, I just want to be the first person to endorse Mr. Rodriguez. You know, he's going to get my vote for sure. And I'm running a little thing with Kelly Jordan. It's called Mount Signal Media, and we're definitely going to support him. Absolutely. But you know, a couple weeks ago I was here, and we're talking about a card room, and we're talking about the limit on a card room, and we had some moral questioning about it. You know, like fatherhood and the deterioration of fatherhood in this community, and that level of concern is something that I think you all need to bring when it comes to the safety of our first responders and our communities and our churches. And our parks and our schools, when we're talking about data centers, I mean, where is that concern at? It's very, very, very dangerous to play that way. And since the county is now in a 1-year moratorium, I think this would be a perfect time for you guys to do the same thing. Moratorium, talk about it. You guys are going to pick somebody tonight, I guess. That's what's happening, right?
Right.
Let it go in concert. Let it be together. Sync it together. Find out what you need to find out. Bring it back in here internally and work on. Be smart about it. Because everything I've studied about it, right, from the out-of-pocket healthcare costs and the environmental costs per year, and now I'm learning about the extra costs to utility bills. Okay, we're looking at something about $50 to $60 billion a year from citizens of the United States living close to data centers. And if you put one in this city, we're all living close to that data center. So it's real. And if you think it's not real, take a drive around. Take a drive out of this county. But think about this. If there were no data centers here, we banned them from this county, what do you think would happen to our property values? Would they go down or go up? They'd probably go up. Why would, because people don't want to live by a data center. If there's not one down here, property values would go up. You'd have more money for police, more money for fire stations, right? We're so under funded on our fire departments anyway. I don't know if the city is, but I know the county is. So, think about that. This is a serious time. We're facing this across America right now. So anyway, my endorsement for Peter is it's rooted with this idea of protecting this society, this community, right? Because he's showing up every time with me at the Board of Supervisors, trying to protect this community and alert these leaders about what's really going on. Thanks.
Appreciate it. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Mr. Mayor, I'm sorry to butt in, but I forgot to tell you something that this file that is just for you guys and your council, and even normal laws cannot be, get that copy because there's she's at conflicts with you.
Okay. I'll make sure. I'll make,
Mike.
yes. Thank you, sir. Okay, we will move into presentations and announcements. And first will be Small Business and Development Center. That'll be Alexis Orejo and Priscilla Lopez. Pardon me? We're not there yet.
He added, that's.
Hello, how are you?
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Priscilla Lopez. I'm the Director for Workforce and Economic Development for the County of Imperial. I'm here today with Alexis Araujo, our Small Business Development Business Advisor. The SBDC is an arm under the Workforce and Economic Development Office. We're based right here across the street in between IID and Wells Fargo at the Business Development Center. We have a myriad of services for both small businesses and businesses in general for the County of Imperial. But today we're going to talk about businesses that are services in the Small Business Development Center that are for small businesses and some successes that we've had for City of El Centro. I'll hand it over to Ms. Araujo.
Thank you. Good evening. I hope you all are enjoying a very cool summer. As Priscilla mentioned, I am a business advisor with the Small Business Development Center, and I have been for the past 2 years. I have since grown to specialize in startup assistance, which we see a lot of here in Imperial County. And I also focus in all things government contracting. So small businesses who are selling their products and services to local governing agencies. So that's been fun to learn about. Some of the things that I wanted to touch on is the services that the Small Business Development Center offers, just as a refresher for some of you that may not remember. So aside from startup assistance, business planning, licensing, permitting, financial projections, and start identifying those startup costs. Some of the other things that the SBDC is able to help in additional areas is those such as legal. So we have a legal advisor. We have a human resource advisor. We also have individuals who focus on e-commerce, website development, If you have a niche such as a daycare, you're in the construction industry, maybe you have an e-commerce, a food and restaurant business. Those are niche areas, and those are just a few that I'm touching on. But I like to mention that because here in Imperial County, we are a very small team. Myself and my current colleague, Jesus Solorzano, we're the two full-time advisors. And so with two people, you're kind of limited. So the network has a total of 9 SBDC centers. So the 8 offices that remain are spread throughout the San Diego County. And altogether, we make up 80 business project advisors. And there is a lot of value in that, being that, again, I'm one person, my colleague is Jesus. So it really helps us go further in supporting the client that comes to seek SBDC support. And all of this is at no cost. And I'm here to bring this to you because the great city of El Centro is a supporter and a funder of this program. So it's something to be proud of. In addition, some of the trainings and workshops that we have coming up, I'll touch on 3 of them. So one of them that we do is the Mexicana Emprende program with the Consulate of Mexico in Calexico. This is a longer cohort that lasts about 5 months. And the unique thing about it is it specializes on female entrepreneurs who are starting from scratch and are looking to pursue their project. And we take them from A to Z, which is really nice. So you get a lot of hand-holding in this program. And it's 100% in Spanish. So we have a very strong Spanish-speaking population here. So that's something that I'm glad to see that people take advantage of. But the unique thing about it is at the end of the program, you have a pitch competition. So one of the things that these entrepreneurs are able to do is actually present their project and hopefully be the winner of the program and be able to obtain those startup funds for their business, because licensing and permitting alone can run you about $1,000. So while $1,000 sounds like a lot, gets you as far as getting compliant. One of the other things that I am scheduled to do is a workshop in conjunction with Caltrans. So Caltrans is the host, and this is the Imperial Valley Small Business Certification Day. So there is a small business certification that one may obtain for their firm through the state of California. And so Caltrans usually has a representative from the Department of General Services conduct the workshop, but this year it'll be me. So I'll be there at the Caltrans office. I believe we have a total of 7 firms that will be taking advantage of this opportunity. But on the certification and government contracting side, we get to see, or I get to see, more mature and established businesses. So one of the things that I like to highlight about SBDC is that we're able to serve businesses at all levels. So it's not just startup assistance. It's not just getting, your foot off the ground. It's also having been established after 5, 10, 15, 20 years even. And again, that's the beauty of the program. And then later this fall, one of the things that the City of El Centro also helps us with is the Small Business Expo. So the Small Business Expo is designed to have a finance panel as well as a procurement panel, and then have some tabling, but specifically for resources available to small businesses. So we have a lot of lenders that come out and procurement representatives from the local cities and Imperial County. Again, the point there is so that the small business owners have the opportunity to connect with that right person for the agency to sell their services and get connected, whether it's registering in Planet Biz or what have you. Lastly, I'll wrap it up here shortly, but I wanted to highlight 2 City of El Centro success stories. So I've had the pleasure of working with the Hound House. not sure if any of you are familiar with the business that just opened up, but we just had they just had a ribbon cutting not too long ago. I think it was about 2 weeks over close to 4th Street. And that one was a very special one because Bianca actually started her project 2 years ago. So you got to think about it. You know, some of these entrepreneurs are out here working on their dream, their passion, and they're building up to it. And that's a success story because it took time to get there, but I'm glad to see that she is prepared and is able to manage what she created, right? Versus the other way around. So that's a startup business. She offers services as a doggy exercise and spa center, from what I understand. And the other small business here in the city of El Centro is Leading Behavioral Change. And I've had also the pleasure of working with this small business, and they came to me already established, having been established since 2021. But the beauty of their business is they've grown rapidly in this short amount of time, up to 13 employees, and their gross revenue is higher than $250,000. So it's a really great example of what the small business entrepreneurial spirit looks like here in the Imperial County, in the city of El Centro, because they're employing employees, and they're also able to continue existing, which hopefully continues to bring fruit in the future. So I'll go ahead and I'll open it up to any questions that you may have for me or Priscilla.
Very much.
Yeah.
Sonia?
No questions. I just comments. I have visited, of course, and I've seen the programs there. I've seen people who have prospered from those programs, and very nice. And you just mentioned the young lady who did the Hound House, and I had the opportunity of speaking with her, and she did mention that that was a dream, and she's excited about fulfilling her dream and being able to push forward in that way. So I commend you guys for opening those doors for people and making it happen.
Yeah, absolutely. I often get told that the SBDC is a hidden gem. So while the funding is very specific in the way that it can be used, please feel free to continue spreading the word and letting all those who have an entrepreneurial idea or project in mind, don't know where to turn. If anything, they could get direction.
We tell
Thank
people
you.
you wouldn't be a hidden gem.
Yeah.
Right?
Thank you. Thank
But we
you.
may have some other questions.
Well, not so much, well, questions and comments. And, I too served as a business advisor for the Small Business Development Center. I worked there for 5 years. And, it's just like during my time there, we also had some success stories, that we're extremely proud of. It's just like, and I know how difficult it is to get entrepreneurs past that finish line, when it comes to business plan development, the financing, and so on. And I recall sitting here in the audience with my director at the time to give our annual report on what the progress that we've made in the Valley. But off the top of your head, can you think about, how many businesses you've helped open here within the city of El Centro? By any chance, are any of those in the downtown area? Or, maybe some of the other, because I know that Imperial Avenue and 4th Street are main thoroughfares, but some of the other areas in town could use some facelifting,
Yeah, absolutely. So my regional director sent me some slides maybe 30 minutes before our meeting tonight. So Norma has the link to those slides if she'd like to share them with the council members after tonight's meeting, so that you can see some of the statistics that Danny Fitzgerald provided me with, which unfortunately I wasn't able to share on the screens tonight, but Norma hopefully can share them with you. Off the top of my head, I can tell you that Vintage and Coffee, Elizabeth and Julian were one of our clients who have utilized the services and are in downtown city of El Centro. And then you also have Academy Awards and Trophies. They been established for like the last, before my time, 20 years ago maybe, and they're still there. They're still in downtown El Centro, and they're thriving. So they focus on all things awards, trophies, medals, plaques, you name it, they do it. Name tags. So those are two off the top of my head that are SBDC clients who are successfully operating in downtown El Centro.
Very good, Marty.
I'm wondering, how do people get a hold of you? How do you advertise?
Well, our business cards
Yes.
and social media from what the network does. The advertisement is where I was referring to the funding and how it can be utilized. So this is a program that is grant funded through our public tax dollars. So federal government, Small Business Administration allocates funds there. Cal OSBA allocates some funds, and then county, and then other grantors. So a very, very, very small portion of that is able to be utilized for any marketing related needs. And a majority of that is designated to what we call the lead center in San Diego. So as far as we go, we don't really have any funds for specific marketing efforts. But when we go out to any outreach events, you'll see us there handing out our flyers and our business cards and scheduling appointments. We try to go to as many outreach events as possible whenever Priscilla sends us over. So yeah, that's
Good.
I guess what we do in
Community
marketing.
events. That's great. Good. Yeah. Well, thank you for trying to help people achieve their dreams.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I also want to add, through the Economic Development Division, we fund a portion of the program. Our annual allocation to SBDC is $2,000. And I do want to add, a lot of it is referrals. So a lot of our businesses who will come to the Economic Development Office asking for grants or loans, when we've offered loans, one of the requirements for the businesses is to establish themselves with the Small Business Development Center and take advantage of some of the courses they provide. The other thing that we do in partnership with them is we typically host them at the MLK Pavilion when they have the resource fairs. And so we try and leverage each other's resources in order to spread the word on the different programs available through the state and through the federal government. So I just wanted to share that annually, we have a couple of contributions within the next forthcoming meetings. You'll also be seeing the Film Commission and the Imperial Valley Economic Development Corporation. We also fund a portion of their programs as well. Thank you.
Well, thank you for that. And for our next presentation, be the 9/11 Stair Climb Committee. Representation up.
Good evening, Mayor, fellow council members, city manager, and staff and guests. My name is Matt Garcia. I'm first responder firsthand. I have the privilege of working for the City of Chula Vista Fire Department as a firefighter. And tonight I'm here representing the IV 9/11 Stair Climb Committee as the vice president. So first and foremost, I'd like to say thank you for giving us a few moments to share the work of our committee and throughout the Imperial Valley. Just to let you guys know, our mission is to honor the heroes and victims of September 11th while supporting the men and women who continue to serve our communities every day, while investing into the next generation of public safety professionals. Tonight, I'd like to share three initiatives that we do in our committee, and we're grateful to be able to bring part into the Imperial Valley. The first one is the 13th annual Imperial Valley 9/11 Memorial Stair Climb, which is housed at the Imperial Valley Fairgrounds. For this year, like I said, it's the 13th annual, and it's taking place on Saturday, September 12th. This year is especially meaningful for us as we commemorate the 25th anniversary of the September 11th attacks, while our nation also celebrates America's 250th anniversary. For 13 years, our community has worked to ensure the lessons of 9/11 to continue to inspire service, sacrifice, and community. One reason that I'm especially grateful to be here tonight is because I know that the City of El Centro has been a long leader in public safety throughout the Imperial Valley. As our county seat and the City of El Centro is many agencies, institutions, and professionals who have served not only the city, but communities across the valley. Having served myself here for the city of El Centro as a firefighter, I've seen firsthand professionalism, dedication, and teamwork that define our first responders. The men and women of the City of El Centro Fire Department, as well as the police department and our regional public safety partners, exemplify the spirit of service our community strives to honor. The spirit of service, exactly what the IV 9/11 Memorial Star Climb Committee represents. Every year, firefighters, law enforcement, EMS, military, students, businesses, families, elected officials as yourself, community members come together to climb the equivalent of 110 stories. Was equal to the World Trade Center, in honor to those who made the ultimate sacrifice and those who continue to serve today. This year we expect the largest participation yet, being that it is a 25th anniversary as well as a 250th anniversary of America. With more public safety agencies joining rather than alongside community members throughout the Imperial Valley. We are honored to have the City of El Centro, as we've had in the past, displays with vehicles of the fire department and police department. And we'd love to see you guys out there again this year, whether through the city departments, employees, teams. You guys come together as teams, elected officials as you guys yourselves, simply attending our memorial ceremony. Your participation sends a powerful message that City of El Centro stands united in honoring those who served and sacrificed within our community. At this time, I'd like to take a few second break to show a video that we have.
There's a fire effect there. I love you too. I love you. I don't know if I'm going to be okay, Kim. I love you so much.
Tower number 2, 19-4, firefighter down.
Urgent. People trapped 5 World Trade on the 80th floor.
Mom, it's Steven. My plane, my building got hit by a plane. And right now, I think I'm okay. I'm safe now, but it's smoky. I just want to say how much I love you.
Thank you for that. Sorry, I get goosebumps every time I see that. We'd like to hope to see you guys on September 12th of this year. Second thing, since I'm up here and part of our community gala, is what our next thing that I'd like to talk about. It's our second annual public safety gala. Second event will be happening October 10th. Last year was our very first time we kicked it off, bringing it to the Imperial Valley, and we had a good success, and so we want to continue doing that. Our gala brings together public safety agencies from across the Imperial Valley for one evening, dedicating and recognizing the excellence in service. One of the highlights is honoring participation agencies from the fire department as well as the police department and officers of the year. Our city leaders understand dedication and sacrifice required of public servants in a regional hub like El Centro. Many of these individuals serve not only our residents, but our assisting neighbors, communities through mutual aid, automatic aid, regional partnerships. The Public Safety Gala is an opportunity to pause, celebrate those quietly dedicated themselves to serving others every day. We invite the City of El Centro to join us by either attending, sponsoring at one of the tables or public agencies, or helping recognize the remarkable men and women who serve throughout your city. And then the third last thing, just to kind of tie up everything that we do is a committee. We do public safety academic scholarships. So every year for the last few years, we've awarded 3 individuals with a $500 scholarship to go for the Imperial Valley College. And what that does is it allows students to go either into the fire, EMS, or post academy, and it helps with equipment, uniforms, textbooks, and academy gear. Every registration, sponsorship, donation helps invest in the next generation of firefighters, police officers, EMS, professionals, and first responders. By supporting these students, we are ensuring that the City of El Centro, like you guys yourselves, as well as everywhere else in the Imperial Valley, have the community to contribute and have dedicated safety professionals serving the residents and generations to come. So at this time, I'd like to say again, thank you very much for your time. I hope to see you guys on September 12th. And if you guys could also make it to October 10th, that'd be very greatly appreciated. And other than that, if you have any questions, I can answer.
Sylvia?
No, I've attended this event for several
Oh, yes.
years now, so, I know, firsthand, how significant it's become here in the valley. Because we do want to ensure that we honor our first responders on such an important and significant day in this country, so, I commend the committee for, not only putting this event on. I know it takes a lot to organize it, but the memorial that you're establishing out at the fairgrounds is something that will live on, for quite some time. So thank you.
Thank you.
Marty?
No questions, just, again, kudos and thank you guys for what you do and for all of our safety people. But what you're doing to memorialize 9/11 is commendable, and we appreciate it. We went last year and it was very impressive, very impressive. Thank you.
Oh, I just want to say thank you for what you do. I've also attended the event several years, and every year is just phenomenal, and it's just more and more outstanding as it grows, and I'm looking forward to this year. Thank you for
Thank you, ma'am.
inviting us. Thank you.
Again, just thank you for the service that all firefighters, public safety do for our community. Thank you.
The one thing I learned is when I do the stair climbs, I'm never going to do it again with my grandchildren.
On your shoulders, right? I think that's what you did
No,
one year.
No, but they always want me to do more laps. So it's like, nah, I was tapping out last time. So don't take young children. Try to stay up with them. So. Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Very
Thank you,
good.
council members. Thank you, Mayor. Have a good night.
That's funny.
Very good. So we'll move on from presentations. We're going to go into consent agendas, items 2 through 8. And if I could get someone to make a motion.
I'll
So-
make a motion to approve consent items 2 through 8.
I'll second.
Motion passes 5-0.
Very good. Moving on to new business, item number 9, approval of general employees unit memorandum of understanding. Our HR director, Dulce.
Hello, Mayor and council members. Here before you is the General Employees Unit MOU. The current MOU with the General Employees Unit expired on December 31st, 2025. We have met and conferred on revised terms and conditions to the current MOU over the past months and have reached an agreement. In addition to the classifications identified in the compensation study conducted in 2025 as being below marked, shall be eligible for an equity increase added to the base salary. The modified terms and conditions agreed to in a tentative agreement are being presented to you for final approval. And the major changes are as follows. It is a 2.5-year agreement. There's an equity adjustment to classifications eligible as per the comp study. There's a 2% cost of living adjustment, and those go into effect January 2026. That will be retroactively paid. July 2026, July of 2027. And then the Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve, they are now full holidays instead of half days. And bilingual pay was increased from $40 per pay period to $50 per pay period. Since the agenda packet was published, staff has made a revision to the proposed resolution. The changes are reflected in the revised redline copy distributed to council this evening. Did you guys receive that?
Yes.
Okay. We are agreeing to a reopener regarding Section 10B cash out solely to address concerns related to potential IRS constructive receipt issues and do not change the overall purpose of the item. Staff recommends that the council consider and adopt the resolution as provided, excuse me, in your packet as amended. Are there any questions? And if not, I am looking for the approval.
I think that was a a really smart move to put the reopener, to allow us time to make sure that we're doing the right thing.
Yeah, especially because it's linked to IRS, so we want to
Yeah.
make sure that we don't affect the employees.
Yeah.
So I'm looking
Thank
for a motion to,
I'll make a motion to approve the General Employees Unit MOU.
I'll second.
With the clarification as amended.
With the clarification of what was amended and presented to us
Yes,
tonight.
correct.
Okay. Yes, regarding the potential IRS constructive receipt issues.
Yes.
10B.
10B.
Motion
Thank you.
passes 5-0.
Thank you, Luce.
Thank you.
Moving on to item number 10, award bid and authorizing a contract, Swarthout and Legacy Parks Basketball Courts Project. Adriana Nava, Community Service Director.
Hello, Honorable Mayor. Let me open up the presentation. The item before you is the award of bid for Swarthout and Legacy Basketball Court projects. These are generally items that have been before you throughout different versions of the process. So the Swarthout Park is one of our largest parks. It's located in the northeastern quadrant of the city. In the past, we've made some improvements to the park. Namely, we added 2 football fields, improved on the large soccer field, and also the restroom facilities were upgraded. The most costly improvement that we've done recently was the lighting. And as part of that, we added security lighting throughout the park. It's probably the worst image, but it's the one that Google provided for me. And in terms of the improvements, we've tackled all portions of the park except for the basketball court. And there's a pretty severe cracking throughout the court, and we are proposing to do some ADA improvements to that court. We're also proposing adding a water fountain because there isn't one in close proximity. Legacy Park, we brought this before you. We did a survey. We are proposing a half court. This is a pocket neighborhood park, and the majority of the residents thought it was a good idea to add a basketball court. And so that's where the court is proposed to be located, where it's depicted in the photo. In terms of the bid opening results, we received 3 bids. One of them was Cactus Desert Construction, the other one's A&N Quality Builders, and Shipley Construction. The lowest bidder was Cactus Desert Construction in the amount of $199,500. A reference check was completed and results were favorable, and their state contractor license is current and active. So staff is recommending the award of bid to Cactus Desert Construction in the amount of $199,500 and a contingency amount in the amount of $20,000. Any questions, comments?
So I do that in regard, so that bid is for both of those?
Yes.
Okay. And then all items have been considered as far as looking at, because one of the things that with all projects that come forward to the council is we do have a contingency. In this one, it's, you know, it's based typically in the 10%, but you know, we have a lot of change orders and we have a lot of requests. So when we look at these projects, was everything considered as far as from infrastructure to connecting items like to bring the water over? I will tell you that I'm very excited for the Swarthout Park. Well, actually both of them, but Swarthout Park basketball, in all my times with the city, that was by far the one that got the constant use by a variety of neighborhoods. Not just, it seemed like a lot of people were coming, parking there and using them. The lighting was good at the time, at least for the courts. So the rest of it was a little touchy, but the courts were extremely well used. And so, but my question would be that we have identified everything in this bid that you believe we would need to complete this bid. And probably that question is blanketed through tonight, so I won't ask it again, but we won't have to really revisit this is what I'm getting at. So are you confident with that?
Yes, Mayor, I am confident. I'm confident in delivering this project on budget. And you can lynch me if it doesn't come through. It's fine. It could be a public. I'm just kidding. No, I feel confident about it. But with all construction, when you dig, you never know what you could potentially find. But I feel very confident with the numbers provided.
Yes. No, I
Yes.
appreciate that. I just want to be very mindful. So thank you very
Yes.
much for that. Any questions?
I have one. The contractor, we spoke a little bit earlier today. Does he have experience in this field?
Yes, he does. I did review the area that we discussed. We did go look at the flat work. We have an image of it. The flat work is really good. I also mentioned it to our public works director. And what happened with the time capsule is at the time that they were digging, a huge portion of it on the sides was in really bad condition. So the contractor did as much as they could in repairing it and making it as square as possible. But if you look at the flat work, which is the base, which is what they will be doing here, it's great.
But my concern is the sides, what the people would look at. It's warped on the sides, two sides. It looks like it wasn't evened out. So the concern isn't the flat base.
That's what they will be. This is the
$10,000 for that cement block. And I have pictures too, where it's warped on the sides.
I'll invite Abraham.
Yeah.
He knows the condition it was
Yeah.
in. I had not seen it, but I did look at the base today and it was in mint condition.
Okay. And then I have another follow-up.
Oh, and thank you. It's a good comment, actually. If you remember that square block, and for those that remember how that monument block was removed, it was extremely banged up, to say the least. It was repaired as best as possible to still strengthen it while maintaining the integrity of it without doing a full cast walls to do it. So yes, I see your concern because it was, in essence, surface patch. So that's why it looks the way it is. It was not built up to provide even surfaces on all those sides, basically building a new box to be outside of that old box. We did not do that. That would have raised the cost significantly more. So yes, it was patched up in a way to make it look presentable and painted back the same color that it was at the old facility. But that's a completely different type of scope of work than what's going to be done in this project. This is more flat work, and they are a contractor. Again, we are bound by low bid. They are licensed. They have the requirements to do the job, and they are the low bid. And they submitted the paperwork, so we would not have a valid reason to disqualify them.
But we also have had, I believe recently, where we did not take the lowest bid. And the reason was because of experience and quality. So there have been at least one for sure, if not two times, that we did not take the lowest bid. And so that's why I was looking to see the experience that they have is for this type of work.
So just to
Or
clarify,
basketball
we
courts?
do not disqualify because of the experience. It's not a request. We have to qualify the low bidder by law. It's a public contract code. And whoever's responsible, basically their math works up, they're bonded, they have insurance, they
Right.
have the appropriate licenses. That's how we award. To award based on experiences, a whole pre-qualification effort that delays projects another 6 months. And for this project, it would not have been the right approach. This is for maybe the police station, the library, major project where we pre-qualify contractors for that purpose. But in this is low bid.
Okay, and I just wanted to say so, but there, in my experience, which has been minimal, then we have not given to the low bidder. Okay, so the references checked out for our public works. Is that the work they did for us on the reference?
Yes, that's
Okay.
one, and they've done some inlet protections for us. They've done work for Housing Authority, Adriana is mentioning, and other.
IID? No, an IID.
Not sure if IAD was the other, but we did check on all
Okay.
references and they were positive. Oh, yes, IAD was the other one. Yeah, under the due diligence, that section covers the references that they listed.
Okay.
I'm just amazed that you know flat work.
Oh!
Place and finish. I got you. Get you out there with the trial. We got it. I don't have any questions. So are you, in this, you're recommending that we move forward with the?
The lowest
Okay.
responsive bidder, yeah.
Okay. I have a motion for this, please.
So I will motion to accept the bid for Cactus Desert Construction.
Motion?
I'll second.
Second.
Motion passes 4 with 1 no.
Very good. Thank you very much, Adrienne, and don't go anywhere because you got another one here. Actually, two more. Provide item number 11. Or was that, yeah. Provide direction regarding the use of Measure P or general fund balance as funding source for the $555,240 for Gomez Park construction contingency and authorize corresponding budget adjustment. The approval of change order number 1 to Three Peaks Construction relating or related to Gomez Park project in the amount of $343,279.75. Adriana Nava.
And I know this is the one that you were referring to regarding cost overruns, but I do want to share in terms of the project scope. We received the award letter December 8, 2021. The grant agreement was subsequently executed in 2022. And from there have also been other projects that we've completed in the process of moving forward with this bid. So a little bit about the project scope. It encompasses 5.7 million was the grant amount, 2 multi-purpose sports courts, various all-inclusive playground areas, an adult exercise area, a small but not so small pavilion. I will show some images right now, a restroom, snack bar, and storage facility, shaded ramadas with picnic tables, a walking path with exercise stations for seniors, a large athletic field with Musco lighting, 2 parking lots, and alley improvements. And I do want to thank the police department, specifically Mr. Gabat, who did some drone footage of the park area. And so that was something our mayor also suggested. So we did move forward with that. And so you can see here, this was taken about, I believe, maybe 3 weeks ago. You can see the playground coming to fruition. The 2 ramadas, the roof is not completed, but you can see a lot of the flat work and the snack bar that is in progress, and then the area where the basketball court, multi-purpose court is, and the future parking lot. And then this is a shot view from Hope Street, and you can see where some of the exercise stations will be and the grass area. And then this is another image taken from the view of where the fire station is at. And in terms of on the ground construction, you can see the sky zip line that is going to be going through there. There's even one for a younger toddler. The exercise area that we hope our firefighters can take advantage of. The playground that is an all-inclusive playground to allow individuals who are in a wheelchair to not only play, but also be active participants. And then there's a merry-go-round. This was suggested by Mayor Pro Tem Camarena, so that a person with a wheelchair can go in, and it functions almost like a merry-go-round / swing for somebody who is in a wheelchair. And then in terms of change order areas, so you can see one of the areas that is additional cost is we are asking to replace the space between the Ramada and the playground, we had desert landscaping. In the plans, it's proposed as desert landscaping, but we've seen in other parks when this has happened, the children just run to where the cake is at, where the fun is at, and then trample on the landscaping. And so when you're looking at plan sheets, there is, at least 100 sheets, and there are certain things that when they're actually building them, you're like, this needs to be something else. And so this is one of those areas. Here's a different view of it on the other side. The playground is just east of it. And then this area on the left is the area where we have the pavilion. The area where the dirt is at is going to be faux turf. And one of the reasons why we wanted that is because a lot of times when you have smaller areas and you go and mow, it creates issues with irrigation. The sprinklers start getting on the concrete and it starts cracking it. And so we wanted to make sure that the space also always stayed green for people's parties, and that we didn't have issues with turning off water, which then leads to other issues in the park. In terms of the fiscal impact, the contingency amount was $550,240, and the change order amount is $343,279.75, which is within the allocated project budget. And also, food for thought is that we are receiving a $5.7 million grant, which is very substantial. Throughout the project process, there has been a long time that has passed, and so there have been construction costs that have increased, and then additional improvements that are stormwater improvements that have also led to some increase in costs. Lastly, the resolution was approved, included the contingency amount, but did not include the funding source. And so that is one of the requests for council, is whether to use Measure P or general fund reserves to cover the $555,240 contingency established in the resolution. And I'm here to take any questions.
So what's been removed, just in summary, from the original, or to help with the cost to get this, that we still need the contingency amount?
So in terms of some of the items removed, let me zoom in a little. So the increases were in demolition, site utilities, AC paving, and hardscape. Some of the areas that were removed were, oh my gosh. Okay, here we go. So the amphitheater, we originally had actual seating, and so we removed the seating to make it an open green space area so you could sit down, but there's necessarily no chairs. Other areas were the playground. We did receive a grant. It was a pretty substantial grant. I actually didn't mention it, from Game Time. And so the city ended up purchasing the equipment from Game Time directly. And so that actually saved us some money. So we didn't, the contractor didn't provide the equipment. The city ended up providing that. We paid them directly. And so that actually saved some funding. Other items that the contractor was going to do that they're no longer going to do, we're going to do, is art. The grant did include some art components. And so we, the city, are spearheading that charge because that takes additional collaboration that we're going to be working on. And then picnic tables. We had an additional picnic tables, 12 of them. And that was a pretty substantial cost. So what we said is we can buy those over time if additional picnic tables are warranted. And then the monument sign. So the design that the contractor did for the monument sign was not something we desired. It was a very basic sign, and it was at the cost of $15,000. We are increasing the cost if it's not identified here, but we do want to add a more substantial monument sign with the image of Mr. David Gomez, because we think it warrants it. What his contribution to our community, we think it should display his image. And so that was another item. And then the artificial turf, which I showed you the two areas where we're adding the artificial turf. And then concrete sidewalk. We did make a portion of the multipurpose courts a little bit larger, and so that added to the cost.
How many picnic tables are we having instead of the 12?
I don't have the plans in front of me. I think we still have about 10 in yes, they were just going to scatter them throughout other areas, and we thought it was fine the way we were proposing them.
Okay.
So I have a couple of questions, obviously, on the original budget. So when we're looking at adding storm drains, is this because we didn't take that we did demo alley and subsections, storm drains, add storm drains, and then we add the alley. I would imagine we didn't have that in the original scope.
On the alley, it was identified first as a seal slurry. That's how the
We
contractor
upgrade.
bid it, and we upgraded because we do anticipate the level of traffic and also durability over the period of time.
Okay. Yeah, and I guess just a statement that I'm a firm believer that contingencies are not part of a budget, that they are a part of a safety net in case we run across those things. So when we say it's within budget and we're including the contingency, if that is kind of the mantra for all projects, it should really be looked at a little bit differently. Those are really safety for those unforeseen things. These are things that we, some could be identified, some we're starting to upgrade. And then it's always nice that you found other areas in which you could reduce and kind of offset the cost a bit. But I do want this just from my side of the coin to be mindful of contingency amounts is not part of a budget. It doesn't really keep us within that. It keeps us within that and the contingency. It's kind of a two separate full thing. But I do appreciate the foresight to see the long-term goal, that things that we would have to come back to, and that's even more costly. So for that, I certainly give kudos and merit to that. And so I can appreciate, wanting to push out the best product that we can. You can't always see that off a set of plans. I get that. So
Yeah.
thank you for your insight on that.
I do want to add that Proposition 68 was one of the toughest grants to obtain. Very few communities were able to receive this grant, and this is one of the largest grants. I think the largest grants we've received to date. There were 112 projects that were awarded, and there were 468 applications. And so I want to share that it's a very competitive process to get to where we are at. And I do also want to thank the community, which we did. Sonia Carter at the time was running for council, and she was a very active participant. She did bring out a lot of individuals who participated in the review of this project, and it includes a lot of great elements because there was great community feedback. And while the project is over budget, I do think that we are providing a very high quality park for the neighborhood. And in that portion of town, there is McGee Park is in close proximity, but mind you, a lot of the area around there does not have any lighting. The sidewalks and there are other challenges in the neighborhood, and we think this is going to provide a great outlet for the community. And I think it's something that we can be really proud of. That now, before it was, I remember speaking to Mr. Gomez's daughter, saying, how is it that this is considered a park? And I remember sharing with her that we were going to work on that as a community. So for us, I do want to make sure that I credit the community for asking for it, us as a community to look for funding to make this project a reality, because back then there was no Measure P or anything else. And so $5.7 million, the city is contributing a very small amount in terms of the project scope.
Yeah, no, I truly believe it's going to be an amazing project, and it's well overdue. The historical part of this is a long time ago when the police department decided to put their obstacle course in the very corner of that park, and not considering the fact that when it got dark, it was dark.
It was dark.
It was like, okay, it's over. So we were doing the obstacle course
Yeah.
with flashlights. Obviously, our colleagues in the fire department, Station 2, I don't want to make this a playground. I'm sure they want to put a gate from their station so they can be there. But
No. And we're really excited about other things that we intend on doing is improving on the fencing that is adjacent between the firehouse and the park. So there's going to be a lot of beautification in the neighborhood, and we're really excited about us being able to use it hopefully late this fall. right now, because it's so hot, most people go out at nighttime. And so this will now be a safe place where youth can go at night and use a park, in total freedom and safety, which is awesome.
If I could just piggyback on what you were saying, a lot of the residents, they did come out and they used their voices. They wanted to be a part of that committee and have a decision and how things were going to move. And to this day, you hear them, I drove by Gomez Park and it's in motion now. It's, you can see things that they're doing. And I mean, so the community is excited. And I do want to say thank you to you guys for actually pushing this, because it could have stopped, but it didn't.
The contractor said that there are kids who go daily and ask them, are you almost done yet?
Yeah, are you almost done? I know, that's what
This is going to be amazing. Marty, you have
Don't forget the bathrooms.
Yes, it does include restrooms.
Yes.
And it
Yes.
has a snack
part of
bar
that.
and a little storage area, because this is an area firefighters don't know yet, but we would like to do more outdoor recreation and invite the firefighters to join us in that endeavors to have that community healing.
How nice. I agree.
Don't act like you guys aren't going to be over there anyhow. So based on the direction, unless, Sylvia, did you have anything on that or no?
What my only question,
Sorry, I'll go back.
can you go back to that where it shows the contingency amount and then the I think it was the previous slide.
Okay.
Yeah, here we go. Okay, so you're proposing the contingency amount of 550,000. The change order amount would be deducted from the 550?
Yes.
And then we'd have the leftovers,
Yes.
to work with. Okay.
Yeah, and to do
All right.
other minor improvements, like I said, the fencing is one of the items. Some additional help on the fire side, more fencing on the boundary that fronts the alley. Some cleanup work on the fire station, just a couple of things, because we want the whole area to be cohesive.
No, I know this project has been in the works for, oh my gosh. It's
But you see there's
it's been
progress.
a long time coming, but yeah, it's in progress and this is, I know the anticipation is high on completing the project, so.
Thank you.
Thank you for the hard work. and-
So since the direction is obviously from a funding question, I would like to refer over to our city manager, then maybe even Tom, if you would like. But do you have any recommendations on the funding? Because it has a variety of.
For this project, I would recommend Measure P for the overage, yes.
Yeah, and I know that we had to use the reserves for stuff. So Measure P I think is spot on for this particular.
Correct. Measure P was designed for infrastructure purposes within the city, and this falls well within that.
Okay.
One of the requirements for us going out to the general fund reserve for ADA was, while it could be applied for infrastructure purposes, it wasn't really in the spirit of Measure P, and that was the recommendation from staff.
So do we just need direction from us as which way to go on that?
Correct. We need a funding source to attach for the contingency.
See, Mr. Manager, if we use P funds for other parks before, then
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Again, well within the meaning
Just-
and
just
spirit
want
of
to
Measure P.
put that out
Oh,
there.
yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
So do we all are in agreement for use of Measure P for this, the remainder of
So
this
is this
project?
going to require, is this an action item? that
It
we're
doesn't
gonna-
say it's an action.
Yes, it is.
does.
It's an action
Yeah.
item.
I'd like
It
to
is.
make a motion that we make up the contingency, or change order rather, using Measure P funds.
I'll second.
Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. I'll second.
Motion passes 5-0.
All right, very good. On to item number 12, discussion and direction regarding the permanent local housing allocation, PLHA, owner occupied housing improvement program, Adriana Nava.
So the funding source that we're going to be discussing is permanent local housing allocation. The city and there's a Colonia allocation receive funding every fiscal year. And the funding amount is based on number of recordings on single family residential sales. So as a part of that, we had a 5-year plan that was established, and we identified different activities for which these funds could be used for, because the guidelines require that the funds be programmed solely for some of these activities. And one of the activities that we had funded is Activity 7, and it is known as Accessibility Modifications in Low-Income Owner-Occupied Housing. As a part of this process right now, where we're looking for from the council is feedback. We're working on guidelines, and program guidelines require public outreach. They require input from the council because we want to ensure that they align with the values of the council. And so in working with our consultant, which is Cloudworks Consulting, they reviewed several unmet needs in El Centro. So some of these include accessibility improvements, air conditioning replacements, roofing repairs, and other improvements that would allow low-income individuals, particularly seniors and individuals with disabilities, to remain in their homes. And so a lot of what I will be sharing are suggestions that we have for the program for the council to consider. So in terms of goals, when we worked on CDBG, there were a couple of things that the council mentioned that we are also taking into consideration. So one of them, one of our goals for this program is to enhance safety and fall prevention. And I clearly remember when you mentioned, Mayor, about lighting and why lighting was so important on your porch, because a lot of it is you can't see, you stumble and you fall, and that leads to detrimental consequences. So other hazards that we discussed were reducing hazards by modifying environments. So one of the things is grab bars in the restrooms, 0-step entry showers, because many times they don't pick up their feet as much, and so that leads to falls. Other things that promote independent living would include widening doorways, installing wheelchair ramps, and lowering electrical plugs. And so overall, making these improvements would allow us to preserve the housing stock. We also conduct housing assessments, and part of that is when they're doing the assessments, they're looking at every household and looking at the structural integrity of the roof. Sometimes you've seen roofs that look like they're on the verge of collapse, but a new roof is anywhere between $8,000 to $15,000, depending on the cost of the home. And so right now, the way we have it, the recommendation, the structure is in terms of priorities, it would be owner-occupied home. And so typically what we see is people who are on SSI, fixed income, and so therefore they don't have an extra $8,000 to $15,000 to make some major improvements like repair or replace the air conditioning unit or the roof. And so we looked at owner occupied because if you are a landlord and you're renting, you're receiving a revenue stream by which you should be making these improvements. In terms of income qualifying, we are using the state standards. And so what we look at is anybody who would be in the low income category, and that changes depending on the size of the household. So if you are a one-person household income, the amount would be $54,400. If you're 8 individuals in your household, it would be $102,600. And this is everybody in the household over the age of 18. So in terms of prioritization, the other one that we have is that in the home, you must have a senior, a person with a physical disability, or a person with mobility limitations. And so we did share that if, let's say, I take care of my elderly mother, I would need to qualify. In order for me to qualify, I would need to have her living with me, and she has these needs. In terms of eligible improvements, so accessibility, we said wheelchair ramps, grab bars, widened doorways, accessible bathrooms, 0-step showers, security lighting, cooling, air conditioning repair or replacement to support safe indoor temperatures, and then roofing repair or replacement to prevent water intrusion and protect the home's condition. And so one of the questions that was recently posed was whether this should be a grant, a loan, and or a loan with 3% or any other simple interest rate. And so in looking at that, I did want to share what that would look like. So if the max were $25,000, the amount for that would be $7,500 in addition to that when it's paid. When would it be paid? When the property is transferred. So that's at the time of a sale of the home, or if it's going into a trust. And so anytime there is a transfer in the property, we would charge the amount, which would be right now we're recommending 25,000 plus whatever percentage the council decide, but we thought 3% because this is what we've done in other programs that we have. And so the total amount would be 32,500. And what this becomes is this is a revenue revolving stream of funds so that this type of funding could be revolving and continue to assist people in the community. And so how much funding is available? At this moment, we have $1.4 million available for this program. And this could assist a good group of people. I don't know if I have any questions. If you have any questions, comments regarding the program, suggestions, this is an opportunity. The guidelines have not been fully created. This is what we have in mind at the moment. And so this is the time to share any input you may have regarding the program.
Since it's a new program, sorry. Mr.
Yes.
Mayor, if I may. Since it's
By
a
all
new
means.
program, we were talking about how many times could one household that qualifies get the assistance? The max 25,000 perhaps.
Yes, so we
Or
did
less than.
say one property for every 10 years.
Mhm.
And that was one of the suggestions, and we thought it's not something that we had considered. And so this way, it allows more people to participate in the program, and it's not limited to the same group of properties.
In other words, someone couldn't apply 1 year, 2 years later, apply again for another $25,000 improvement, 2 years later, something like that.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yes.
thank you.
And Adriana, how many
Yes.
people did you say it would help if we capped it at 25 with the amount that we have available right now?
Oh.
Let's do the math, because I did tell you, but I've already forgot.
Yeah, I
It's
want to say, I wanted you to say, but I think you had said 57 or. was it
57.
57.
Okay.
Thank you.
Because we had a call with her but on questions.
Yes,
Marty and I,
57
so
people we
we're
could assist.
discussing.
That is if everybody used the $25,000 amount.
So I have a couple of questions, and maybe you covered it. So you identified the people that would be qualified for this. How do you do the selection? I mean, when, let's say that we have more than 57 or something, how is it? Is it first come, first serve? Is it kind of whoever qualifies for the most? And like I said, you may have covered that, so.
This is the joy of my life,
Is it?
the prioritization. The
Yeah, I
devil's
would
in the
imagine
details.
This is the difficult part.
Yes, so we did identify owner-occupied home. So that limits a lot of people. That
Okay.
really reduces owner-occupied home. Then you have to income qualify. So that reduces the pool of people. We income qualify people, they have to provide proof of income.
Correct.
Tax returns, those are the types of documentation that we use. And then usually we also hire an underwriter to review this, because there's a lot of other elements that they look at that internally it's a lot, especially when you receive an influx of, let's say 150 applications. And then also it has to be at least one person in the home must be senior, person with a physical disability. And so that requires submitting other government paperwork that states you have a disability, or a person with mobility limitations, same thing. And so most of it, as we identify these priorities, it starts dwindling the pool of people
It
who
allows
are.
you to do that. Yeah,
Yes.
I didn't know if like you had hundreds of people, but by the time, I would imagine there's an administrative component to the grant that allows you to get that taken care of. So, yeah,
And then in addition to that, first come, first served basis. So those people who apply first will be reviewed first and then move forward.
make sure that they meet these.
Yes.
Okay.
The other thing that we do is that when we do the application intake, we make sure it's complete, and we don't accept applications that are incomplete, because then at that moment, sometimes it leads to a false sense of expectation that I'm ready to go. And so until all of the documentation is complete, we don't approve the actual application.
Perfect. And then one final question, because the governmental agency, if we're doing it this way, do the bids for the work, does it fall under the city or can it fall under the owner occupied that doesn't require a certain kick in of higher dollars? You can get more work done for the amount.
Yes, but we also do not release funds to the owner. We
Correct.
release them to the contractor.
For a draw.
Yes, for the draw.
Okay.
Once the work has been completed, we will pay the contractor directly for the
It'll
work.
be very similar to owner builder, but we are
Yes,
doing the bill for the draw.
yes.
Okay.
And we also do require that it is a actual contractor,
Correct.
not just
No,
people
but
who
it-
do AC work or people who do roofs.
Yeah, I guess the distinction here is when anything has to do with this building or any other government building, the cost of that is 3 times what it would be. just
Prevailing
due to-
wage.
Correct.
Yes.
So because it was grant, I mean, we had our prints on it. I wanted to make sure that it was still, because you get a lot more work done for the dollar
Yes.
amount. So
We can stretch our dollars a little more.
very good. Yeah, thank you very much. So what are you looking for today?
You provided it, which was guidance. I wanted to make sure that we were on the right track to ensure that we're prioritizing the right people. One of the other discussions that we had was whether we should include veterans in the prioritization. We didn't include that at the moment, but if that was something the council desired. And then in terms whether it would be a loan or a grant, that was another item for discussion. I think everybody leaned towards a loan with interest rate at the time of transfer, which is what we're recommending.
Right.
And so those were the items that I was particularly concerned, because if I bring guidelines to you and I put grant and you actually wanted a loan, we have to start from scratch. So there's a lot of time that is spent in creating this type of documentation.
So as of now, veterans are not included?
No, they would be included, but in terms of prioritization, who we would include is a senior, a person with a physical disability, or a person with mobility limitation.
Okay.
And Adriana, I know there were a lot of areas that were spoken of about like the widening of
Yes.
doorways and the no-step shower and so forth. So the 25,000 would go to all of those
Yes.
topics, all those
Yes.
categories?
Up to the
Up to the
$25,000 amount.
25,000.
And this is similar to what we do through the CDBG home rehab program, where we go and inspect the unit, and based on that, submit a scope of work. And if it goes over the amount, then we talk to the owner about, okay, what are your priorities? Is your priority to have an air conditioning unit and a roof, or to replace your restroom or rehab your restroom? And so it's a tough process when people have to make those types of decisions, but that's what we do to stay within the allocated amount.
And the CDBG is, that's a different arena where we do the same thing as far as just the lighter modification of the home?
Yes, CDBG is actually more home reconstruction, and it is a more extensive process, and it is a loan, and it's based on property values. It's a loan valuation.
So are we overlapping some of the things they do? Would it be beneficial to be able to focus on air condition replacement because of our heat for
Yes,
them?
that's
and
why we
when-
included it, and inclusively, we reached out to the state because Activity 7 is pretty vague. And our state representative mentioned that air conditioning units are a priority for our area, and so therefore allowed us to move forward with that. For us, it's not just a luxury, maybe like it would be in San Diego. Here, it's a necessity. Yeah.
I'm hoping that, I would like to see that personally, especially for the population that we're looking at, that they live on such restricted incomes, to be able to have them have a air conditioner replaced or roof replaced is huge
Yes.
for them. So my recommendation would just be, if there's any overlapping through the CDBG and the PLHA funds, if we're able to focus on some of these that are a necessity, that, and I know that the no-step showers, I don't know how much of that is done through CDBG, but I know it makes it very difficult for the individual and caretakers as well to be able to help them. But I really am hoping that this population will take advantage of the air conditioning replacement because it's even to, every year somebody has to, it breaks down and, you know, a lot of our, you know, service people are so busy that sometimes they stay a longer amount of time than they want to in the heat.
5 days waiting.
Yes.
Do you have what you need? I think that this is done up very nicely. I think it's fair and equitable, so.
Thank you.
Thank Clara and Cloudburst.
So just to be clear, this is a grant unless the house is transferred to another ownership, then it becomes payable.
It's a loan.
It's a loan.
It's a loan. It's a loan.
But it's not payable.
It's not due and payable
Yeah.
at the time the work is completed. It is due when the property is transferred.
Yes, right. So we're not going to like fix up someone's house so they can sell it to someone else. and
Exactly.
Cash in on our grant.
Yes.
We'll
I
get
would like
paid.
to also, just now that we're talking, all of that, before you take your slides down, you know,
Okay.
the requirements was a disability, an elder, and homeowner, right? So if one of those, if there was a veteran in that mix, I would hope that
Yes.
they would get, I would like to see them get priority if they're in that mix also.
Yes.
I agree, Marty.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Adriana.
Yes. Item number 13, provide direction regarding the proposed construction of the additional Veterans Memorial Wall related revisions to Phase 2 of project scope. Adriana Nava.
You're on a roll, huh?
I know.
The joys of life. So the item before you, this is actually some trouble that Mike caused. Just kidding, Mike. So this is, a project had come before you for the Veterans Memorial. And the project that we had was to add an additional pathway along the western portion of the park to connect to the existing wall we have. And so then the suggestion was to potentially remove the scope of work that you see in orange, the new concrete paver pathway, and to instead add a wall. So it would limit the entry point, right? Because we only have one through the bridge, but it would reduce some costs. So the current contract amount is $695,260, and it would remove quite a bit of the vegetation, the benches that we have, the lighting bollards, and so that does reduce costs. Now, I do want to add that the contractor had already purchased some of the items, so we're not getting full credit. But the item, for example, is the pavers, and we can always use pavers, so. So during construction, staff evaluated the project priorities and identified an opportunity to expand the Veterans Memorial instead of constructing the planned path improvements. And so what we're looking at is adding a new wall pretty close to the existing wall. And Mr. Mayor, do you want to elaborate a little bit about where this idea came from?
Yes, thank you for that. At our last memorial event, I was approached by, you know, as I was going through and talking to the veterans who were present, I was approached by several that we were pitching that the improvements were coming and this is what we were planning on doing. And it surprised me, but maybe not as much, that they were preferring to see if it was possible if we could put a second wall and give it a symmetrical look on that end, in which our podium and usually our announced launch spot would be between them. And then that way, when the names are presented, they would be facing forward. That would also create some longevity for later on if we did want to revisit reusing the back of these walls for any reason, then we could do so. And then I would love to have the pathway because I think it's a wonderful addition. And But maybe that can be,
In due time.
yeah, I was gonna say, maybe that can be a phase that is revisited as well. But it seemed to me that the ones that we were honoring the most were the ones who were pitching this particular idea. And in doing so, I think that we should at least hear them out. And I think it was a great idea. I think it's going to be well received because it really expands that versus no matter how much we say that we'll be on the other side and we did another approach area, it's still the backside of the original wall versus, and not that that should diminish that. This project really kind of took a turn when we had to do the retaining area when it was found out, because then that pathway could have stayed in on the scope. But so I simply asked the question, is it feasible? Is it possible that we can look at this, or are we too deep into it? Adriana obliged me and looked into that and was able to find out that we could pivot and maybe perhaps complete this the way it was requested. So that's why I brought it to her, and this is why it's to us. But there was no less than 6 people that asked me about this, 6 individuals. And this was the half hour to hour before the event. And they all came up with it on their own. I wasn't like, hey, what would you think of this? I was pitching the new stuff and they were coming with me with, what do you think of this? So we're listening.
Food for thought. We have one message, freedom is not free. And that was one of the questions that was asked. What are we going to write on the other wall? So maybe that's a topic for later discussion, but are we going to continue the message or are we doing something differently? We were going to do the exact same design on the other side of the wall, but this is probably, as you think about it, construction's going on right now. It's something that we're going to need to look at.
Well, I think that as long as the edge is basically the same, the wall construction design can be the same, right?
Yes,
Correct.
yes, we
Just
have standard.
maybe a different thing. So what is it you're looking, are you looking for direction
So-
as well, or?
Yes, so the credit that we're receiving for the scope of work that we're reducing is 80,000, and so the net change is 23,162. So it's costing us less than what was originally proposed. And then we'll staff for.
What is the pathway? What, without maybe the planting and the benches and stuff, or I don't know, but just.
You lose your credit of the $80,000.
That was the pathway altogether?
Yes, yes.
So is that concrete bounded?
It is,
with pavers or?
it was pavers, and then we did have concrete on the side. I think it was 6 inches on the side just to keep everything contained, lighting bollards, and then the contemplated benches.
Well, since we were 23 in the net, basically 57, it would cost us to do the pathway.
Yes,
Okay,
but we're trying to stay within budget.
I know. I just got told.
Go for the, let's push this through.
Stay focused.
Before, yeah.
Yeah.
I opened myself up to that one.
He's going to volunteer to add the pathway.
Yes. He's going to start that project next year himself. So we can make a motion then, right? A
It's
motion
only
to
for
approve.
direction.
Oh, it's only direction. Yeah, I'm a little bit, I want to talk about the language here because we have a lot of direction, but we're taking action, and I guess I'll ask the
Yeah,
city
that's-
manager, because usually we see recommend approval, recommend
Well-
information only, so I'm a little.
That's why I'm asking the question.
Well, an action is required to approve the change in the scope of work because it is a change order. It deducts from the scope of work, but is still considered a change order. We had requested in the plans for the contractor to carry out a scope that we are now revising.
Sure.
And so it is an action because without the 3 votes, we wouldn't be able to move forward with.
But why did the
with-
language say change? Why, because I noticed your topics say provide direction, but previously they were like recommend approval. And so I think that's where we're thrown off as far as
Okay,
now we're
I see
just.
what you mean.
That's okay, but if you need
Okay.
that,
Yes.
we'll move forward with that.
Yes.
So can I get a motion for that?
I'll make a motion to approve.
And I'll second.
Yeah, approve the change order
Yeah.
regarding the construction of the additional Veterans Wall. I don't know, I don't have anything online.
Motion passes 5-0.
Very good. Thank you, Adrienne. Moving on to item number 14, request for appointment. Imperial County Data Center Advisory Committee, presentation by City Manager Robert Sawyer.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and members of council. So the Imperial County Board of Supervisors has asked for each city within the Imperial County to participate in an advisory committee related to the data center discussions that are occurring. Tonight, in compliance with their request, I'm here to ask and make a recommendation that we nominate one individual to represent the city of El Centro at this board to sit in on the meetings and then report back to council in an advisory committee, an advisory role. And I don't have a lot of information as to how this will be processed and what the format will take place at this point in time. I have spoken with the other cities to discuss their involvement and so forth. So all I have is what's before you in your packet tonight. I do think it's important for us to be at the table and be able to hear what's being said, be able to provide input when necessary, be able to bring that back and obtain direction from council.
Yes, and when I was reading through this, I looked at this as very similar to an ad hoc where no action can be taken. It is informational to come back, so action can be, for that information to be transferred along. So I do have a nomination or a recommendation for that, and would be Angel Hernandez.
I'll second that.
And so I think with his.
Here? Oh, no. Okay.
No,
He's out on vacation.
Out of town.
No,
This is what happens when you leave town. Don't come up to a meeting. This is what happens.
With all that aside, though, I will say that because of his expertise and because he speaks the language, knows a lot of the guidelines and regulations in which they are talking, and then has the ability to transfer that very technical information to something that we can understand. That was the purpose for his recommendations.
And I might add, just for the public's information, Angel's our planning development director.
Yes.
So he's responsible for all planning and regulations that come to the city. Very familiar with CEQA, which is an important part of the data center discussions. Also one that's at odds with some individuals. But we need to have somebody at the table that understands the language that's being discussed, understands when waivers are being made in other areas, how that may affect our city, and be able to guide us through that process in that nature.
Okay, so the vote is in front of us. We had a motion and a second.
Motion passes 5-0.
Very good. Thank you, Robert.
Congratulations to Angel, wherever you are.
She's on a beach somewhere.
Yes.
Some of his coworkers want to let him know that he just picked up another collateral duty.
Guess what?
Okay, item number 15. This will be canceling the city council regular meeting for August 18th. Primarily, we have some folks who will be out of town, and that is a good period of time in which to also allow staff to get everything caught up and some of these older projects wrapped up so we can move on. So I recommend that we go ahead and go dark for the council meeting of August 18th. Can I get a motion?
So I will motion to go dark on August the 18th.
I'll second.
Motion passes 5-0.
Very good. All right, that moves us on to task force reports, and I'll start. Sonia, will you start us off?
Sure. During the summer hours, I focus on talking to the community. We have a lot of our events going on as far as the aquatic center. I've been by there, the library. Today was their end of the summer program. I went to cheer the kids on there. They gave out a lot of good prizes. The parents, they really love what the library has been doing this summer and every summer, they said, and the distributing of the lunches, oh man, they really appreciate that. So thank you to the El Centro Elementary School District for allowing that to take place. I also go, not by choice, it's just funny because during the summers, it just seems like you find, when you're in the stores, you find people that always want to talk about different things that are going on throughout the city. And a lot of talk has been about Gomez Park, and I'm glad that we had an update presentation today because I would tell them to go back and look. And then I just happened to call Adriana the other day because the lights for the football practice, they didn't turn in their paperwork, or it was a miscommunication. So the parents, they know who to go and contact to get these points across. So it's funny to me. Then the new businesses that are coming and leaving in El Centro, they asked about that. They also asked about the encampments that are going on. I've had a lot of concerns. It's just been an encampment that's on the north side that's been moving from one side to the other side to the other side. And the police, they've been coming, and Anna and them, they have been coming. It's just that the residents are concerned. Why? Because they have a lot of stuff with them. So they're like, what is going on? But I just got people today, this morning, I had the neighbors that came and asked me, when are they going to come and check on that encampment over there? And I was like, okay, I'll mention it to them and let them know that there is a concern. And then they also asked about the trains on the tracks that are there too long. And I told them that's not in our jurisdiction. We don't answer to that. But the residents, they do have a voice, and they are concerned about a lot of things. And we do listen. That's our job. We're here to listen. And I'm glad to be serving them. Thank you.
I'm sorry, Sylvia. Thank you very much, Sonia. Sylvia.
Hey, so we had the Friends of El Centro Community Foundation meeting last week. You know, I have to say that we have a pretty robust list of activities that are coming up, but I do have to mention, so we made a very generous donation to the El Centro Library for the summer reading program. We also made a donation to the Aquatics Center swim team and junior lifeguard program. We've also approved a donation for something that our own Gustavo Ibarra is, good grief, I just lost my notes. Our Parks and Rec supervisor, Gustavo Ibarra, is starting up a new program, okay? And we approved a donation request to start a Press Start youth gaming program. Okay, so that is in the works, and it's coming. And so we also have our third annual cornhole tournament that's coming up on September the 3rd. And so we encourage the community to form a team, enter, and participate in our cornhole tournament, because this has become one of our signature fundraising events for the Friends of El Centro Community Foundation. And we also had a guest speaker at our last meeting, Mr. Gerardo Antonio. As you know, he's Mr. Baja Catch, and he is proposing to put on and organize a children's fishing tournament at Buckland Park. So we will be working with him to spearhead that activity. And so, I'm excited. We have a lot of fun activities planned for the community. So, and let's see, we have a hospital board meeting coming up next Monday. and then meet again as the Friends of El Centro Community Foundation to work out all of the logistics for the cornhole tournament. And at the end of the month, we will also be presenting a proclamation, and I'll be out at the Aquatic Center to present a proclamation for the International Lifeguard Day on the 31st. So that concludes my report.
Marty?
Yes, so not a whole lot happened. There's not too many activities planned in July because of the heat, obviously, but we did have an outdoor event last Thursday at Dr. Zadeh across the street from the hospital. Besides his regular practice, he's opening a Zadeh Performance Medical Center, which is going to focus on wellness, not just disease treatment, but wellness. And so it was very appropriate because we were practically in a sauna. He was sopping wet from head to toe before he was done. But it's a great thing to have. He's very busy in his regular practice, but this is his passion to attack things like obesity, diabetes, heart disease before it becomes a problem in so many people. Then you end up on, medication the rest of your life. So that was a very good thing. We applaud him for that. Then the Friday, this last Friday, the 17th, Jeff Gonzalez had a town hall at our old post office pavilion. It was well attended and cool. And we talked about a lot of things. We talked about gas taxes and gas prices. We talked about property taxes. We talked about mileage tax from Sacramento and just the cost of living such as that. And he is, I wouldn't say alone, but he's very much practically alone in Sacramento, being a conservative, trying to fight these things, taxes that the history of Sacramento is you tax and then you spend more than you tax, then you tax more, then you spend more than you tax, and you never catch up. You're always in a deficit, and it's always more and more and more and more taxes. So I want to thank Jeff Gonzalez. He goes to every corner of his district trying to meet people and explain things the way they are. So we need about another 50 Jeff Gonzalez's in Sacramento to turn us around to being where we can afford to live in California. So it was a great time together.
Bonnie?
Also went to Dr. Zadeh's grand opening. He already talked about that. Sat in on the Veterans Day event planning going on for November 11th, right? Veterans Day. I'll let Mike talk about that. And Sonia and I also attended the ad hoc downtown and homeless meeting. I think it's great that we're both on the same committee because we're combining it to hopefully save time because a lot of the issues overlap each other. And we're planning on having a meeting with downtown and any other resident who wants to join. We're looking at August 5th or 6th. We'll send out a definite date with the invitation and to come in here from us and also give us questions as to what we have done in the last year as a council downtown and what the plans are for the future, what's coming up, what's going on. A couple of things that are going to come up for LAFCO, and we want to make sure everybody has the right information that they're hearing, and you can hear it straight from us. And we'll be more than happy to respond to your questions. And I think that's all I have.
We want to stay connected with our business owners. Yes.
Oh, yeah, we certainly want all of our community and especially our business to be successful there. I've had the opportunity, this was a very busy 2 weeks for me. I don't like it. But I went to several meetings, community enhancement, very interesting. I enjoyed the meetings. It's just the timing. But the IBHD, Marty and I went to an ad hoc committee meeting there. I met with 2 of our citizens that requested meetings. And then there was a couple Zooms that we went to. In reference to the Veterans Day, we are truly planning, try to have something that is really special in the city of El Centro for our veterans. As a very special population for us, we want them to feel that this day is certainly with meaning. We're working up with partnerships right now. I don't want to get in front of it, but probably next meeting we'll have some more definitive information. But this being our 250th year and working with our veterans to not just present them with their day, but to make it extremely special. Staff and the committee is working on, Adriana is going to be a big part of the success for this, but staff is working on the partnerships, and I foresee a very exciting event coming from, and it will be held actually on Veterans Day, November 11th, I believe.
Yes.
Which is a Wednesday. So it's exciting. We want to have a great showing. So next time we'll have a lot more probably to present. I just don't want to put too much out in front until we get some people completely in on it. So with that, my mayor's mentioned, I have my Mario come out and take care of that. That wasn't for music, was it? Oh,
Yes, I'm playing on a show today. Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem, members of council, City of Centro staff, and members of the public. We'd like to share a few upcoming events taking place in the city of El Centro. The El Centro Library will host its summer reading program and a program party for school-aged participants. They're having 3 of them for different ages, and tomorrow will be the final one at 10:15 a.m. The El Centro Fire Department and the library will host a kid-friendly obstacle course at the El Centro Library on Thursday, also at 10:15 a.m. The free activity will give aspiring young firefighters an opportunity to complete challenges alongside members of the fire department. The El Centro Aquatic Center's summer movie series continues with Jaws on Friday, July 31st, and concludes with the Super Mario Galaxy movie on Saturday, August 22nd. Doors will open at 5 p.m. and each movie will begin at dusk. Admission is $5. The City of El Centro Parks and Recreation Division invites the community to Nights of Melody on Friday, July 31st, from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. at the Old Post Office Pavilion. This free event, hosted by Patty Hurtado, will feature live performances, local talent, and an evening of music and community connection. Residents are advised that the City of El Centro Bart Park will be closed from Monday, August 3rd through Monday, August 24th for annual maintenance. The city appreciates the community's patience and understanding during this temporary closure. Finally, as the region prepares for potential upcoming monsoon seasons, residents are encouraged to sign up for the city's free mass notification system. Subscribers can receive important emergency alerts, weather advisories, and other city notifications directly to their phone or email. Additional information can be found on our city social media pages. Thank you.
Thank you.
I could not have done better myself. So thank you very much, Mario. With that, we'll go to our city manager's report.
Thank you, sir. We had a very busy couple of weeks, is kind of par for the course here. What I really want to let the public know is they're going to see a lot of movement throughout the city. It's already started in our parks and downtown. El Centro's got a number of things going on in terms of roadway alignment and the new project down there that's been kind of spearheaded for a number of years, but it's kicked off, and we're hoping to get to a conclusion point here in the very near future. But on top of that, as Abraham's pointed out, and each of you have heard about, a large number of roadway improvements throughout the city. So bear with us as we start to tear up the streets to repair them, and we fix some of the concerns that are going on. It's our pleasure to do so, but it's also annoying at the time when you're driving and you have to go down to one lane or switch over from one lane to the other. But we want to ensure the public that it's in the best interest of the city, all of our citizens and visitors to the city of El Centro, and we have a very robust roadway improvement program going on throughout the summer months. Hopefully be finished in time for Christmas shopping is definitely the goal there. Not only roadways, but we have alleyway improvements that are underway. And so a lot of moving parts in the city, a lot of construction signs coming up, all for the best and all for the improvement for our citizens. And with that, I'll end for the night. Thank you.
Very much.
May I do a plug for the mass notification system with that? Because I'm signed up to that and it gives good information about roadways, about things that are like the dog park being closed, activity at Buckland Park. And it really
Aquatic
does
center being
help
closed.
aquatic and it's free. And I really encourage the residents to sign up for it. Earthquakes.
Yeah.
Whatever you can think of, it's there. And it's a
That
really.
one's got its own little
Yeah.
notification. I believe.
It's a really great tool. So I really encourage the residents to sign up for that. And also you get that information firsthand. You're one of the first ones to get it. And, it really helps with some of the misinformation that goes on in social media. The latest one was about the Buckland Park. And our social media team and PIO officer had been putting that announcement out for some time. And then there's this thread of just pure misinformation. So I really encourage you to sign up for our mass notification system. It will clarify and give you heads up on things going on so you can take alternative routes and not get stuck while all these improvements are going on.
Very well. Seeing that, it is 8:04 and that concludes this meeting. Thank you.
Yeah. I gotta go talk to Chief Brown.